Hi, this is Shahiroz Walji from Astral Connections, and here with me I have Reverend Dr. Michael Likey. Quite the mouthful. How are you today?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good to have you with us.
Same.
Excellent. So I just sat through a wonderful presentation, and the meditations you did and the speakers we had today, it was just wonderful, and we wish more of you could have been here, and so I invited Michael to do an interview so you can get to know him, and so I'm going to get to know him right about now.
Me too. I'm going to get to know me as well.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Michael. Tell us, first of all, tell us a little bit about your life.
It's boring, though. It's boring. They're going to fall asleep out there.
It's always interesting. There's always bits and pieces that can liven people up.
Personally, I think the most exciting thing happened when I moved out to West Coast. To BC, that's when everything changed, everything transformed.
Okay.
Because in the past, I was in advertising and graphic design growing up in Montreal.
Advertising and graphics design, that sounds like fun.
It was fun. It was actually, it was awesome.
There you go.
Now that I think about it. And I was a professional magician for like 13 years.
Oh, let's talk about that.
In Winnipeg. That was fun. I had my own TV show, Big Illusions, Small Illusions, making myself disappear.
What were you saying? Not interesting? Your own TV show, magician, advertising.
I guess because I love what
graphics design.
It's probably because I love what I'm doing now. I'm very, very grateful, and I'd like to say it was seamless, and now in retrospect it was. So I come out here expecting I'm going to be doing exactly what I did in Montreal, Toronto, and Winnipeg, and it's like, no, all of a sudden it's like, what do I do?
So
how do I get back on soul's purpose? How do I get back there?
So, but were you thinking about your soul's purpose back then?
No, totally not. I mean, the only exposure, the only thing I was kind of doing, that's why we're here, is I feel like doing a ventriloquist act. We'll have to edit this all out. No, I'm kidding. And we're upsetting the camera person. It's just the old magic mic coming back. Yes, I said magic mic.
We'll get you out here to do magic. Just wait.
Hey, that would be great, actually, because I'm actually right back in it. So, no, I come out here, and obviously, I was meant to shift. I was meant to shift what I was doing. I was doing, I believe, my soul's purpose in doing magic shows and making people happy and doing the graphic design and all of that. And I come here, and it's like nobody wants that, or they're not willing to pay that. I got kind of frightened, to tell you the truth, because that's all I really knew.
Really?
But in my spare time, I used to do tarot card readings. That was really a love, and it runs in the family. My mom was very, very psychic. She was a healer. Her hands would get like really hot, but she never did that for a living. It was kind of like, I thought that was normal growing up in Montreal. She'd talk to her dead mom, and as well I am a medium. I look like a small, but I'm actually a medium. And I'm sure the universe had that be my soul's purpose after moving out here. It's a perfect place for it. So I kind of scrambled after about a month of trying to do caricatures and things out here, the stuff I'm used to doing. And something said, just as I was waking up in the morning, offered tarot. I was actually at Westminster Key Market trying to do caricatures. So a little voice
in your head said that
to you?
Okay.
And I could see the sign. I could see a sign and the sign. And okay, I'm going to knock off a sign. I'm going to fax them and ask them if I could do that. And there was no one there in the office Sunday, so I brought with my tarot stuff, and there was lineups. It was crazy. Wow. I'm just putting up the sign feebly, depressed and kind of, here's another thing that, and there's like a lineup. Wow. So I knew right then and there,
that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful for that. Wonderful 6 years at Westminster Key, and then Reflections books for 7 years, and various other places in Lower Mainland, doing tarot healings, metaphysical work, channeling.
Wow. So you went from advertising and hosting a show to metaphysics.
Yes.
And you're also an author because you've written a book.
I've written 3 and also 12, actually 11 ebooks on Amazon.
Okay.
So you can't stop me. People want to, but I'm not doing it for me anymore. I mean, I get a great deal of satisfaction, but I get a greater satisfaction giving. Okay. So I'm no longer concerned with, okay, how many gigs am I going to have this week or this month, or, how many freelance illustrations do I have to do and all that sort of thing. It's like, it just happens. I get inspired.
So you switched from a secular lifestyle to a metaphysical one due to the need to survive, basically, initially.
Initially,
and really
that's
it was,
true.
right?
That's exactly true. But along the way, and I must say this, I was given 4 meditation techniques when I was turning 29 or 30, a long time ago, by a Mahatma. Now, this is going to sound funny, but it's the truth. A Mahatma from Saskatchewan
Okay.
came to Winnipeg and was giving knowledge, what was called knowledge back then. And that changed my life. And so did Reiki, which was a whole other thing. I mean, I was called to do some magic shows back in Montreal when I was living here. And I met my future Reiki teacher in Montreal.
Okay. Wow.
So everything's for a reason.
So let's go back to the Mahatma. You said he brought you 4 meditations. So
4 meditation
So how did that
techniques.
change your life?
It got me in touch with my true self, with a capital T, and I guess a capital S as well.
Okay.
Yes, not with spelling apparently, but with my true self. And going inward, that the answer isn't on the outside. I always sought satisfaction on the outside, doing shows and
Right.
that sort of thing. And yeah, that was, I believe, the beginning of my true spiritual journey of truly knowing myself. It also made me more psychic. It did somehow, I guess as I was going more and more into higher conscious awareness, that's one of the rungs on the ladder, is becoming psychic even more so.
Right.
So clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and all that sort of thing. And I found myself, for fun, doing tarot card readings in my spare time. And kept it there until I moved out here to
Okay.
West Coast. And I'm so grateful.
Okay. And so can you share these 4 meditation techniques with us? Because I'm sure everyone's wondering, what are the 4
Wow.
meditation techniques?
I suppose I can, even though I'm not supposed to teach them.
Okay.
But back then they were called Divine Light, Divine Music, the Holy Name, and Nectar is what they were called. And I did my research because my first wife was worried I was going into a cult and all of this, and it
Right.
wasn't. There was no cost. I didn't have to change my lifestyle at all. And they are based in
Eastern teachings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which always resonated for me.
Okay.
Probably because of past lifetimes. I'd already been studying Zen Buddhism, already been doing the 116 or 112 or 13 meditation techniques, but wasn't seeing light. I felt I had to experience something.
Right.
And then a close friend of mine in Winnipeg said, you've got to, he pulled out a picture of the teacher. And I thought, well, who's this person? And this person had brought this to North America around 1970 or so. But I also did my research, and different parts of India, it's either combinations of these techniques or other ones, but it's essentially closing yourself to the outside to experience truth on the inside. Yeah.
So tell us about that inner experience then.
Wow, okay, really? You're
Yeah,
going to be
well,
excited.
yeah.
Okay. He's bored. Our camera person is like, okay. So he's going, yeah, it's a living. And so right away, when I was taught the first technique, I experienced what looked like stars to me, but eventually it was light. And it looked like a donut and a hole in the middle of it, of this light. But nowadays, years later, I merely close my eyes and I see this great bank of light. With music, if you will, divine music, or the second technique, it's still a waterfall. It sounds like a waterfall to me, but I understand to everybody else it's different. They have a different experience. Nectar, and I've tried doing my research on this, it's the sweetest taste that starts apparently in the center of your brain and goes down. It's almost like postnasal drip and exists behind the uvula. So the idea is to taste this and to get behind the uvula and do that. But from a physiological perspective, it's very relaxing, even just trying to do that. Focusing on the breath and the up and the down. And the last one was a mantra. I guess we can call it a mantra, a word that was given to me. And I follow that with my breath, up, down, or in, out. I say that word over and over to myself. And years later, as a clinical hypnotherapist, on a superficial level, I can say, well, and that's very, very valid, relaxation techniques for going inward and focusing away to experience the divine within.
Okay. And so then, right now you're doing your Blog Talk radio show, and you're ministering, if I understand correctly. And he's going to be ministering here every Sunday.
I'm so excited about that because I wasn't really expecting to. I kind of do it on Blog Talk Radio and I put out videos on YouTube. But something said, and I guess we did connect, like, right away. And it's like, oh, I'm going to be here, I think. And I hope you see that. And so she kicked me out as soon as we met. She went, get out. No, we embraced, and it's like, oh, I felt confident enough to say, I think I should try something Sunday mornings. And she said, get out again. No, she didn't. So 11 to 12 every Sundays, at least starting in May, and hopefully going on.
We'll see where it goes. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's music. You had a bit of a taste of that
Yes,
today.
I did. It was awesome. He sang some songs for us, and we did some meditations, and those meditations were quite penetrating, I guess is the word.
Right on.
Excellent.
Hopefully they produce a tonic effect. Hopefully they produce some kind of healing effect.
I don't know if I can make my tongue go back there like you suggested, but
it's enough to try.
it was fun trying, I have to say. Yeah. So, okay, so you have a team of practitioners, for lack of a better word, that you work with. Do you want to talk about that? Like, do you want to talk
What
about
if I said no?
Oh, come on.
Do you want, I know what you're saying. I do, because I'm really excited
our
about it.
Soul Purpose seminar,
It's
like,
true.
talk about that.
It's true, and and maybe we'll even come back, because it just dawned on me today, and my wife laughs, because and I know she's going, duh. It went really well, and I'm very grateful. You're funny. I'm very grateful that it went well, and we've got this great team. And it dawned on me today, we should do this again.
Absolutely, we should.
Yikes,
sure.
duh. See, this is me, duh. And I can help people heal themselves of trauma and all kinds of stuff, but, I'm still banging into walls. I believe that was divinely inspired. Pam Ellis is an NLP person and a coach. She has all these qualifications, not unlike mine. She's also about to get her credentials through the University of Metaphysics, one of my alma maters. Another one is the University of Sedona. And I thought, we should do something. Another person who wasn't in this because of some illness in his family, he does these amazing pictures. And he just travels about wherever he's guided to go. I talk a lot.
We're talking about Bruce, right?
Bruce Gallagher.
Absolutely.
And we'll look forward to thank you. I needed that. Where's my cue cards? Bruce does amazing photography, and you get drawn into these pictures. I think you know, because I think you've had him here before.
Yes, he's presented here before, for sure.
And someone who's sitting just off camera here is Kelly Chamchuk.
Yes.
Yay, I remembered her name. And she's about to throw something at me. And Kelly is all about soul coaching, and I have her on my show quite a bit, my Blog Talk Radio show.
We'll get her out here too, for sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Fridays at 12:30, oftentimes 12:30 Pacific time. Kelly's on my show, Pam is on my show, and Kelly, wow, she's been into soul coaching long before I've even thought about that sort of thing, and somehow we connected or reconnected in that regard. And I thought, oh yeah, we have to have her be a part of it.
Absolutely.
And Linda Miller, oh my goodness. I almost said, oh my goodliness, which I would have in my old Magic Mike Day shows. Oh my goodliness. And that's a whole other story. Linda is a graduate of the University of Metaphysics as well. They've all authored books.
Don't all magicians carry props on them so you could do something right away here?
I got a ring. Should I do a trick with a ring? Should I do that? It's boring. Here, I'll get you to blow magic breath.
Oh,
it's
geez.
gone. Oh, yeah. I don't believe I did this. Yikes.
Well done. I don't know how he got there.
Me neither. Can you keep a secret?
Sure.
So can I. Now I feel like blowing up balloon animals and twisting them. Oh, you never lose that. It's terrible.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun, though.
They've fallen asleep out there.
No, they haven't. They're still wondering where the ring went.
It's around my collar. I have ring around the collar, I think.
I want to ask you about your writing, though.
This will all be edited out. I know
No,
it.
it won't. Tell me about your writing. You started writing all of a sudden, and now you've got how many books out there?
Well, truth be told, I've written commercially years ago, like in advertising. I was a copywriter and I used to do all this stuff. So it was there.
Okay.
beneath the surface. And really where it started, that's kind of also divinely inspired, I expect, was about 7-8 years ago. I was accepted into the University of Metaphysics, and I set some intentions and goals that year, was to write a book. And to get some kind of credentials, because in the metaphysical world, sometimes they go, okay, so what? So for me, I had that insecurity, and it's like I wanted to have DD after my name, because I love Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith, who's in The Secret.
That's right.
And he resonated for me, and I thought, what is DD? So I'm Googling, this is how I Google. I'm Googling DD on the internet, and Doctor of Divinity. Okay, how do I do this? No information.
I signed up for it too, and I got
Did you?
accepted too.
Oh, wow.
So I can use some cheat sheets if you have
Okay,
any.
well, here we go. And so, at that moment, no, I couldn't get any information. I feel like bringing out the puppets now, and we're gonna sing a song.
Doctor of Divinity.
Yeah, and the timing wasn't right, but I started channeling. These non-physical higher vibrations.
Okay, so I've listened to Esther Hicks talk about how Abraham came through her and what happened before Abraham came through her, etc. So how did it happen with you?
I set the intention I wanted to write a book. I'd been meditating up until that point probably more than 20 years, probably 25 years, and it was much the same. You open a channel to the divine. I believe these higher vibrations are really source, but because we're human, we have a human brain, sometimes we see certain things or we have to process it that way. So I'm sitting at the computer, this is how I sit at the computer, hunched over with other glasses, and all of a sudden I feel this presence. And it's my wife looming over me. No, I feel this presence, and sorry, they're falling asleep. They're falling asleep, and it felt like this amazing umbrella over my head. And I want to laugh, but it's the absolute truth. And all of a sudden, I'm writing.
Oh, there you go.
And I don't know what I'm writing. And it's almost like the only way I can describe it is like I'm behind Jello or something. Like it's not clear. It's like my body is being used for something. And at the end of each day, I'd get Sue, who's my wife, who's a teaching assistant, to read what I've written or what was written through me, and it made sense. And there was minimal spelling errors because the human part of me could see where some things were underlined in red, and I'd kind of go back. But it flowed. Within a month, I'd written, or was written through me, a book called Magic Happens.
Wow.
And that I still credit Eliah. It's spelled Elijah, but I believe the proper name is Eliah. And that's how that book came to be. And the second book wasn't so easy because I really pushed it. We're long off, aren't we?
No, carry on.
Okay.
Just light bulbs went off as you were saying that, because studied the Bible and biblical characters. And so, carry on.
Interesting. And I do. I tend to. And that whole thing was, I wanted to know who they were. So I put that out to the universe just before I began typing. I said, well, who are these? And the visual that was given to me was I once did a Passover Seder, or Passover feast. And as part of that, Eliyahu or Eliah, the spirit, comes through. They knock on your door, apparently, or on your one door, and you have to open the door and let them through. Hence Passover, apparently. There's many other connotations. And we were doing this, and I got my stepkids at the time, who are now in their 30s, but I've got my very non-Jewish stepson with a yarmulke, and I don't follow my tradition so much. I respect it, I'm grateful for it, but it's all part of like a whole thing. And
that's still part of you, so.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a lot of wine as part of Passover, which is really what makes it. And so I'm sure we weren't drunk, but just at that point where Eliah is supposed to come, there's a rapping at the patio door. And we're like I don't know how many floors up we are. And we all stop and we look. And I'm processing this memory when I was asking, like, who are these entities? Who are these energies? And they showed me that experience. And so anyway, Sue and I go, and I could see energy. So I saw this displacement of energy, and I open up the patio door, and they go through, and my stepkids think I'm nuts still. And we open up the door, and they go through. Eliah goes through. So that remembrances of that experience of the Passover dinner or Seder was to give me their names of these non-physical energies.
Wow,
Eliah.
of course, yeah.
It's a long-winded story.
No, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. So now we know the name of your...
Elia. Yeah, I don't actually promote that very much. Maybe I
just
should. Maybe when we
well,
do our things here, I should
absolutely.
do that. And people will come. I do mediumship.
Yeah.
You
we'd
want to
love-
know how that came to be?
Yeah,
That's kind
absolutely.
of fun.
Tell me
Okay. I hear them snoring out there.
Oh, don't say that. They're having
There-
fun
there-
because we're
there's my
having
wife
fun.
up there. Yeah, I'm sure. That's
Let's
true.
not
isn't
affirm
it?
their snoring.
Yay. Anyway.
Mr. Affirmations here.
That's true. They're excited. And so my mom always spoke to her deceased mom.
Okay.
I thought that was
Yeah, you
normal.
mentioned that,
right?
yeah,
And I'm growing up in
earlier.
Montreal, and it's like she's speaking in Yiddish, which is kind of it's not Hebrew. It's kind of I don't know how to
Yeah,
describe
no, it's
it.
a dialect of
Yeah,
Hebrew.
thank you very much. And she's speaking Yiddish to her mom, and she's sure her mom is there and all that. And I thought that's normal. I figure, okay, it's normal for European folks or Jewish folks, or and then you grow up and you go out into the real world, and it's like, oh, not everybody does this.
Interesting.
So I forgot about that, and then years later, fast forward to Winnipeg, I had a female friend I used to do tarot card readings for all the time, and I feel this presence here again. I feel this presence, a female presence, very clearly, and my friend said, "It's her." What? And it was her deceased mom.
Oh, okay.
And I could hear her. She was Italian. I didn't know Italian. I know a couple of bad words, but otherwise I don't. I'm from Montreal. Of course I know bad words in Italian. And so, boy, this is going to be edited badly. And so, I'm actually dropping words that her mom is saying, and I'm saying, oh, I'm not sure this is true or not, but it was, and I'd give my friend information from her deceased mom, and that helped me gain a lot of confidence.
Okay.
When I moved here, I'd been doing already mediumship a few years. I realized, oh, I can do that. I can see, hear, and feel the dearly departed. I could see angels and guides, non-physical energies and entities around people. What a blessing.
So you see that in what form? Like
Non-physical.
just non-physical. So
unthinking, yeah.
so apparition, etheric versus.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
okay.
And there they are, like, when I open myself, like sometimes I'll stay closed,
Yeah.
because if I was opened all the time, then it would probably be maddening to be able to see all that. Yes, so
Right.
I see them non-physically around people.
Wow. That is a blessing.
And it's all it's not for me, it's for you, it's for other people to help them.
Wow. And then, so, do they communicate with you when you see them? You do. They do, I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And at what age did this start happening to you?
Well, that was only when I came out here.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what caused the shift or transition.
Drugs and booze.
Drugs
No,
and
no.
booze.
It was
course
obviously
it
it was obviously meant to be
Wouldn't have been a,
You know. a
an
regular.
esoteric experience of some kind. Of course,
Oh,
that would
no,
be
no,
drugs
it was
and
booze and drugs.
Okay.
And those of you from Winnipeg, you know what I'm talking about. I'm teasing. And so, no, that was obviously meant to be. I mean, I started experiencing that just before I came out here with my friend, doing mediumship. And I always had an extra sense. I always was an overachiever in school and knew what my marks would be just before I'd get the marks. But I thought, again, that was
Is
normal.
that because you never studied, or?
Yeah. All wrong. Red X's, fail. No.
Well,
So,
if we're gonna joke, I may as well joke too. So speaking of esoteric experiences, any that you've had in your life that you want to share?
wow, where do we begin?
Yeah, I know.
Yikes.
I'm sure there's lots.
Just living is it. But I'll go back to one that just pops into my head. Often,
Significant one.
okay.
Okay.
Might as well, something that's there. My wife and I were encouraged to go to this park in Coquitlam. There's quite a few different parks. And I'd been avoiding this park for whatever reason. I don't remember the name of it. But we go there, and there's some kind of crossroads. Like, if you go left, you go to one part of the park. If you go this way, it takes you to another part. But something said go this way, but then I couldn't. And something said, okay, ask the spirits there, the spirits of native people there, permission. And I did, silently, and then we proceeded. And then I see before me, amongst this beautiful thing, because that's my life, this awful slaughter scene from centuries ago. I know it wasn't recent, it was a long time ago. What used to go on, what probably still goes on in places all over the world. And it was just awful. I'm standing there with Sue seeing this and moved, and I don't want to go any further because it's just I'm seeing this.
Yeah, why would you want to?
You know, exactly. And I realized, okay, this happened here at this time. And then Sue says to me, and oftentimes, I am sometimes, she goes, are there any that want to cross over? Like, what's going on? So I'd set my attention, my intention, I looked a certain way, and I saw a lot of spirits of Native people there, and I said, you know, you can leave, you can cross over, right? And in the blink of an eye, there was this lineup. A lineup of
People wanting tarot readings?
no.
Just kidding.
$25, no. That's a bargain. And they're lined up, and you could, the way I see when they cross over is so bad. It's kind of like an opening, and oftentimes gold, white, and a little bit of purple light. And they're just lined up, and they're crossing over. They didn't know they could.
Wow.
And it's like, whoa, I'm bawling, and it's like, oh my goodness. That must have, and we never went back after that for some reason, but that was probably the only
I wonder why.
this is my life. I can't go into malls. I don't want to know what's going on. Well, I do. But, you know, I focus a little bit more on being in higher conscious awareness, so I'm not picking up on
I really appreciated you
energies.
sharing that meditation earlier about people going into malls and being able to do that meditation
good.
to protect themselves.
It
I don't
works.
really like the word protection,
No, but kind of like
but,
be in a higher vibration,
Yeah.
if you will.
because many people, you know, who come in here who are sensitive say, you know, I don't like going to malls, and I don't like doing this, but
You
just
gotta
knowing
live.
knowing
Yeah.
that little tool
Absolutely.
would absolutely empower them, right?
And it does.
Yeah.
And really, it puts you one with your true self. You
And
know?
I loved how you said that it's a blessing to them and a blessing to you as well. So you're actually interacting with each other on a higher,
Totally.
yeah.
Totally.
That's excellent. So tell us about your latest book.
Oh, I'm really excited. That's funny you said that. She knows how to get me going. That's so weird. And it's not like we're doing promotions. It's very genuine. I guess we are doing promotions, aren't we? The latest one was released last year. I wrote it probably last year or the year before. It's called The Signs of the Soul.
Where is it? I need a copy.
You
of
have
it.
it.
I
It's,
do.
it's here. It's here. It's right it's off camera. It's coming. Nope.
The yellow one.
All more.
There you go.
There. Yay. And yay.
Yay! Here we go.
This is it. The Signs of the Soul. That is a combination of the first two books. So it's got magic happens in it. It's got Journey of the Mind, Journey of the Soul.
So you get the best of both worlds.
Yes, and a whole whack, there's like probably over 300 pages of new information in there, including, and this is so cool, I've got to actually give you a couple of decks to sell here, these Soul Oracle cards.
Oh, wow.
I've hidden them away. I should pull them out and have
Yeah,
you have them
please.
here. I started channeling the 33 spiritual laws of the universe while I was writing this book, but it
Wow.
started off as 18, and it's at the publisher, and then I realized, there's a lot more laws. It's probably infinite, really. So, again, I'm emailing iUniverse saying, don't publish it yet. There's more. You know, so there's 33, and that was the impetus, the inspiration, if you will, for these Soul Oracle cards, or now I call them the affirmative Soul Oracle cards. 33, full color, they have little affirmations
Who
on
is
them.
it? Is it Linda McTaggart who has the universal laws, or version of the universal laws? I can't remember now, but yeah, it'd be
Did you see
interesting
me
to
go
get them
blank?
all.
Did you?
Yeah, I did see you go blank. It'd be interesting to see all of these universal
Yes.
laws in one place, because they're all over the place in bits and
And you
pieces.
know what? They've
Law
been
of
around-
attraction, law of...
Oh, sure. Which we call the law of magnetic attraction,
Well, there you go.
actually, in there. But it's like physics.
Yeah.
So whatever we put out comes back. It's like the law of gravity. It's all that sort of thing.
Right.
They're always at work anyway, but if we're kind of aware, or let's say we're having an off day, and we pull a card, any card, we pull one of the cards, and it says the law of, say, detachment.
Yes.
Then we get this knowing, okay, either that's working right now, or we can maybe vibrationally clue into that and detach, which really is true compassion.
Wow.
Detachment is real compassion.
Attachment is real compassion.
Detachment, yeah.
Detachment.
Detachment. You want to know why? You want to know how?
You need to elaborate
Okay.
on that.
Phew, okay, I'm glad you asked. So, compassion, according to Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, is a combination of sympathy and empathy, right? Let's say something not so great, or what appears to be not so great, has happened to you or someone, and we go, oh, I feel so bad for you. How does that help you? Oh, I feel so bad. Empathetic, oh, I feel for you. That's nice, but the combination of the two melded into compassion is kind of like, well, I feel for you, I sympathize for you, but here's some tools or solutions for you. And the level of detachment means we're not enabling people. I think there's another term, I don't think people use the word enabling anymore. But, you know, if we're too sympathetic or empathetic, we're almost feeding and enabling people in an addiction or a certain mode of behavior, etc. It's almost like tough love. I liken compassion to...
I like to use the word unconditional love.
Yes, very good. Wow.
Can you speak a little bit about, you spoke about it earlier, about gratitude versus appreciation?
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a beautiful point.
It's not original.
Oh,
I'd love to take credit. That's Esther Hicks again, Abraham through Esther Hicks. But that stuck with me because, wow, what a difference vibrationally. Gratitude is a great place to be. The attitude of gratitude they talk about, especially for getting one with Source and all that sort of thing, and let's say your life seems like it hasn't turned out so good, forcing yourself, if you will, to that energy of gratitude is a great start. Because, oh, I'm so grateful. I've got a job. I'm so grateful in this relationship. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, grateful. And that vibration is great. And, but appreciation, whoa, let's compare. A peer of mine said, well, one is about the past, one is about the present and the future. I appreciate my limbs. I appreciate that I'm alive. I appreciate that I've got this life. Appreciation, theoretically higher resonating, and actually some people believe the same vibration as Source, love and appreciation. Gratitude is kind of like you're almost comparing to what you had before versus now, whereas appreciation is past that. It's kind of like, whoa, I appreciate all my senses, and oftentimes I say to people, sometimes they get this or not, I appreciate the dust. I appreciate my senses. I can talk. Most people think I can think. I guess I can think, although that's debatable. But being an appreciation for everything is a higher resonation and closer to love and Source than gratitude.
Right. Wow. And most of the faiths cover that, actually.
Yes.
The Eastern faiths do. It's an expectation to be in a higher place of gratitude and acceptance.
Can you imagine if we weren't?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, look, I've got a Rolls Royce. I don't care. You know, it's like, what kind of energy is that? You know, I've got this. I appreciate. Because sometimes gratitude is about having stuff, and that's okay too. But appreciation is kind of past that.
That's right. You already have it, and you're more than grateful for it. It's part of you already now.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
and it's almost like prosperity and abundance. A lot of people think in terms of, if we're going to compare words, prosperity and abundance. What does that mean to most people? Oftentimes we think, well, it's this. It's finances, and that's okay. But true prosperity.
Spirit told me not to use the word abundance, and to use the word prosperity too.
Prosperity is richness.
Of course, they didn't tell me why.
Let me tell you, it's richness of the heart and soul. Like, let's feel that, right? Prosperity. Wow. Abundance. I don't mind the word abundance so much, but it is misleading. But prosperity goes beyond the physical, if you will, to having more. Right.
It's material and spiritual than prosperity.
And there's nothing wrong with being rich. You can be spiritual and rich too. I think
they kind of have to go hand in hand, actually, because
they do reflect.
Because material wealth is an energy as well, right?
Sure, absolutely.
So earlier was rising a question, and we went to another subject. When we were talking about your book, you mentioned the law of attraction, and in the book you have the law of magnetic attraction.
Yes.
So will you share what the difference is so we can entice people into...
The law of attraction is the law of magnetic attraction. When I was studying at the University of Metaphysics / Sedona...
So why the distinction?
That's what was given to me. And every channeler, every person who does this sort of thing, that's why sometimes if you go to 2 or more different psychics or mediums, they may give you different names of spirits or people or whatever. It depends. It's filtered through our physical body, our physical mind, if you will, our human mind. So we'll get sometimes different words, different meanings, different messages, etc. So for me, it came as the law of magnetic attraction. You know, but I also love the law of release and receive. We can only receive what we're willing to release, right? And it's like, this is a good exercise. It's like, yeah, I want money, I want, you know, stuff. It's like, here.
Yeah.
You know, you want love?
You
give love.
Give
you
love.
want, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. I'm running out of questions.
Oh, it's okay. I'm running out of steam. But
Is there anything you want to share with the audience that I may have?
Life is good, all is well. I just bought an amazing Louise Hay book. She co-authored with Dr. Mona Lisa Schultz, and it's called All Is Well. And I will be using it for my dissertation, Theocentric Psychology. And all is well. All we need to do is say that to ourselves. And even as an affirmation, I always say meditate, and as you're meditating, because it amplifies the intention. But hey, feeling and knowing that all is well, I'm ready, willing, and open to receive my prosperity. Doesn't that feel good? There's an opening right
awesome.
there. Life is good, and I'm
Life
grateful.
is good. I'm grateful that you're here and you're joining us Sundays,
Me
11
too.
a.m. Excellent.
Me too. Thank
And
you
we'll
so
get
much.
him back to do another Soul Purpose seminar
bet.
for us. And yeah, on to the future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.